Hi everybody, it's Lynn with Crafting Break, and I just had my in-person card class yesterday, Saturday. Yes, I feel like I'm losing track of time. I feel like I lost a week of my life because I didn't realize it was a 3-day weekend already until last week. So what I'm doing today is I'm recording the cards that we made yesterday, so those that ordered the virtual kit can make them at home. And also to offer that if anyone missed out on this, there's still an opportunity to get the cardstock to make these cards. I only will include, I can't include stamp images, so I'm going to include the cardstock, and there's actually nothing die cut in any of these 3 cards I'm making today. So if you're interested in getting the card kits, all you need to do is place a $35 order on my website, and I'll link my website to the video description, to this video when I post it. And you have a week, so that'll be a week from today. So what is that? The first is Monday, Tuesday, let's just say September 6th. I have no idea what day that is, but let's go with September 6th. So if you place an online order through my online website of $35 or more through September 6th, I will send you all the cardstock to make these cards. So let's get started. Oh, let me share first. I'm using, I'm going to share, here it is. I can't find anything on this table sometimes. You think a 6-foot table is big enough and it's not. I am using Blooming Phrases. It's the only stamp set I'm using for these cards. If you own this stamp set, then you can make the cards exactly as you see them being made today. And if you don't own the stamp set, that's okay. You can use whatever you might have in your stash to make these cards. You might already have a floral set or something else that these cardstocks and pieces of papers and bits and parts and pieces will work for. So let me get started. This is the first card, and let me get all the pieces out. I'm going to start with the easy step. I mean, it's all really easy. I'm going to score my Calypso Coral card base, or crease it, I should say. I've already scored it. And then I'm going to take, whoops, my stamp just came off of that. I've used these stamps so much, they're kind of coming off blocks. I'm going to use some Post-it note tape, and I'm going to get a rather large size, because I want to mask off the bottom of this piece of basic white, and there's some teddy fur as usual, because when I go to stamp the stems, I don't want anything to show up down here. It would be okay if it showed up under, this part where I put the Calypso Coral, but just to be safe, I'm just going to mask that off. And the great thing about this stamp set is, you can use any of these, because when you turn it over, all of them are like a stem. So I just grabbed one that I'm not stamping with on this card. It says birthday. So I'm going to use that one to create my stems. And I am using Garden Green. And in the card kit, there's 2 basic white pieces. They're the exact same size, so you don't have to worry about getting those confused. One is for the stamping that we're doing right now, and one is for the inside. I'm going to move this ink over to my right side since I am right-handed. And, lightly tap, tap, tap on our ink pads. I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm going to just kind of build out my flowers from there. Oops, need a little more tap. Let's go about here. And see, it's great because I did get ink a little farther down, and that's okay because I've got the Post-it note tape here. And actually, I'm going to come about here with that one. I'm going to go a little bit sideways with that one. Got the sniffle stay. I've had my AC on for 4 days straight, and I'm just so tired of it. I want fresh air, but it's too dang hot right now still. Okay, we'll go sideways right there. Okay, that takes care of the Garden Green for now. I'm going to close that just so it's not in my way, because I will get my fingers or my hands or something in that. Okay, let's move on to the flowers. I'm going to pull in Calypso Coral, and I'm going to use this flower right here, and tap, tap, tap. Great thing about photopolymers, you can see where it's going. and I'm going to put 3 of these flowers on my card. Okay, I'm going to put these off to the side, hopefully clean them later. We are done with that color. And let's throw that off to the side. And this is why your table gets messy. All right, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight now. And I'm going to stamp 2 of these flowers. You can do almost any colors with it. You can make this like fall colors, which would be gorgeous. Okay, let's put that one aside. I don't think I need that anytime soon. Now I'm gonna pull in Berry Burst, and I don't have a full-size ink pad of Berry Burst, so I have an ink spot, which works just great. Oh, and I just noticed I stamped my flower the other way than I did on this one, but that's okay. It's probably gonna, I mean, it's not probably, it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna look great. Each card is different, and that's what makes it so fun. No 2 are the same. Okay, we're done with that little ink spot. Okay, now we're gonna bring Garden Green back in, and we're going to use all of these different little leaves. I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm gonna stamp that on the Calypso Coral flowers. This one can go a little higher. Okay, that takes care of that. Now let's go, I call this the mustache. It looks like a mustache to me. And this one I used on the Daffodil Delight flowers. And then this very, very tiny leaf. I've lost it in a class already, but we found it on the carpet. I'm just gonna stamp those right there. Okay, that takes care of our leaves. Now I'm going to bring in Memento Tuxedo Black Ink. I'm going to bring in this piece of Calypso Coral, and I'm going to stamp Hello There. I just re-inked these, so they're pretty, as we like to say, juicy. And I'm going to go somewhat in the middle with that. Okay, oh, there's fur. And then I'm going to bring in this card, the inside layer, and I'm going to stamp, because the outside says hello there. I'm going to use the stamp that says thinking of you. Now the choice, what color do I want to use? I think I'm going to use, no, I'm going to use black. I was going to grab Calypso Coral, but I think I'm going to use black. Okay, oh, I pushed a little hard there, but that's okay. It's handmade. Okay, that takes care of our stamping. Now we can glue or tape or whatever your adhesive of choice is. Mine is glue. I'm going to start gluing all my pieces together. And this one goes the full length of the card base. And now I can put glue behind both of these. I'm sure I've said it many times, but I use liquid glue because, as you'll see right now, I am not going to put this down straight, and I'm going to need to probably wiggle it. Oh, that was not bad. I didn't jinx myself. Okay, that inside layer. And now to finish this card off, oh, let me grab my take your pick tool over here. Add a view there. I'm going to use some rhinestones. Could never have too many rhinestones. And I just put them kind of on the tops of the Daffodil Delight flowers, the small ones, and then I used a medium one to go right there. And that's all I did for this card. Super simple. You can see this one's a little different. But a nice card to send to someone, letting them know you're thinking of them. A friend, a loved one, a parent, you know. It's good to send the cards you make, and I should listen to myself. Okay, I'm gonna set that one aside, and I'm gonna grab my next, sorry about that noise. I'm gonna grab my next set of cards, or my next pieces. And somewhere I have a sample of this card. I do, right here. Now, in this sample, so this is a book, I guess you could call it like a book fold. It's got like a spine of a book here. In my sample here, I glued this flat, and then after I did it, I thought, you know, I don't like that. It looks too one-dimensional to me other than this flower that's popped up. So on this card, I'm going to pop up this entire white piece. So this is the next card we're making. And I've got all my layers here. And this is the white piece we're going to be stamping on. And somewhere there should be a tiny, here it is. It's always in the envelope if you can't find it. Okay, I've already scored this one again. So let's go ahead and crease this one. And then it's going to fold back on itself. And that creates the spine of the book. So I'm going to go ahead right now and go ahead and put adhesive right there so it can start staying in place. I just kind of push down on it a little bit too. And another teddy fur. Surprised he's not up here with me right now. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to glue, well, let's glue these two pieces onto the front. This was quite a different card class for me because it literally was just ink, stamp, and paper, and I usually have, you know, die cuts, a couple more layers, so instead of a 3-hour card class, it was really, what, an hour and a half at the most? It was, I surprised everybody. I surprised myself, actually. So I warned everybody that, watch out, next month I'll make up for it and it'll be like a 5-hour card class. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and also put, adhere down the inside layer because I did not stamp anything inside. I thought thanks on the outside was just all that was needed. And because it is a smaller piece for the inside, it leaves room for writing. I know some people would prefer a larger stamp with less writing, but if you're gonna thank someone, you might as well tell them why you're thanking them. Okay, that takes care of our gluing. Now we're gonna bring in the Memento black ink and the stamp thanks, and let's get started with that. Okay. To start this, I stamped in the bottom left corner, and then I just kept rotating the paper. So bottom left corner. Tap, 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 you can hear that. Okay, there's that part. Now I'm going to use, what am I doing? I want pumpkin pie, not pumpkin pie, sorry, peach pie. I am using pumpkin pie, but not right now. I'm gonna use peach pie, and this is, this flower right here is peach pie. Actually, I might have used a different color on that one, but when I did the class, I ended up using peach pie. I thought the peach pie looked nicer with this paper. So I'm gonna stamp this little square with peach pie, and then I want 3 just randomly stamped, 3 more like that. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's just do this while we have it. You know what? Let's put a flower in there. Why not? Okay, we're done with peach pie. Now I'm going to pull in pumpkin pie. And I'm going to use this flower right here, the set of 3 flowers. And I'm kind of just going to come in and fill in some of the spacing. Kind of rotating a little bit, fitting it in where I can. And now we're done with that color. Okay, now I do need to bring in my little cleaner here because I do need this little leaf, but in a different color. So I'm going to lightly clean that so my leaf doesn't fall off and go flying. I don't want to try finding that little guy again. Okay, I'm going to use Shy Shamrock this time for the leaves because this card base is Shy Shamrock. And what I did is I stamped full strength, and then right after I did that, I did second generation right next to it. So that gave me the 2 colors of leaves. And this is a very light, you know, tab because it's such a tiny stamp. I just kind of turn my paper around. It's so nice having a 3-day weekend. I'm getting so much done. For someone who didn't know it was a 3-day weekend, I'm taking advantage of it. I hope you all are doing something fun this weekend. We are doing a barbecue at my parents' house tomorrow, so that will be fun. And of course, anytime I get to hang out with my 6-year-old now, my nephew is 6, I get to hang out with him. It's a lot of fun. He said to me on Tuesday night dinner, because that's, I think, about when I just realized it was a 3-day weekend, he said, "Does that mean you get to hang out with me?" And I said, "Of course it does. Of course I'm going to hang out with you in one more day this week." Too cute. Okay, now I did fussy cut this. It's not difficult, and how I fussy cut is I move the paper, I don't move my scissors. I don't know if you can really see that, but and I did leave just a little bit of a white border. You do not have to be perfect on this. It really just is to fill in the center of that little bouquet, and your eyes are going to be drawn to all the flowers, so this is, you know, it's just fine. This is the most difficult thing I did in my whole card class this week. It was fussy cut a flower. Okay, I think we're ready to assemble. So let me get my dimensionals. Okay, I put, whoa, got 2 there. I put 1 on that flower, and yes, don't laugh at me. I think I say this all the time in my videos. I love my dimensionals. I know it's not going to collapse, but you know what? I've got them. I'm going to use them. Okay, so there's my dimensionals, all more than probably any of you use. Or maybe you do use this many. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to take all the backings off. My little trash can's over here. Hopefully you can't see my little trash can. Now I'm going to kind of circle this one around and see where I want it. And the reason I'm doing that is in my sample I put a large butterfly up there. I just like, see right here, there's not much room for the large butterfly, so I don't want that to be my top corner. I think I like this as my top corner. And so that's where I'm going to put my large butterfly. And because it's, you know, just stamped in a square, you really can just keep rotating it and find a good spot. All right, let's get the butterflies out. These are the, what are they? Brushed brass butterflies. Okay, that is a tongue twister. I'm not going to try to say that 3 times fast. And I'm going to use 2 of the tiny ones right there. They fit that space nicely. All right, and that is card number 2. Slightly different than this one in the colors, and you can see the difference, right? See how much more flat this looks? And I just think popping this up looks a lot nicer. So now we have a thank you card. Okay, let me reach over here. Sorry for the noise, here we go. Last card. And I do think, am I going to, no, I don't need to clean any stamps. Wait, maybe. I'm gonna need happy and I'm gonna need birthday. And I do believe I used birthday for the stems. So yes, let's clean birthday real quick. I tried to align everything so you wouldn't have to, I wouldn't have to be on camera sitting here cleaning stamps a lot. Okay, my sample. Here's the sample. I think it's called a fault line card. And so it's a birthday card. It says happy and then birthday on the inside. It's super easy to make. So let's go ahead and score our card base. This is Blackberry Bliss. I used it because it picked up the dark color in here, which is the Blackberry Bliss. And let's wait to stamp. So this is a normal card front, card layer. I think it's, what is it? It's 3 1/4 by 5. And then on the diagonal, I took my piece of paper and I laid this tip and this tip at the 1 inch, and then I sliced it, I cut it. So it's a perfect layer. If you were to cut a card layer, it's the perfect layer, see? And I did that because now I'm going to tear my paper down the diagonal to expose that white edge. Now the back side is gorgeous, it's purple, so if you were to tear it away from you, you would get the purple edge and not the white edge. And some people don't like the white edge. Another option is you can, use your Blackberry Bliss ink and ink that edge as well. But I like the white because it looks like a fault line to me. So, and the slower you rip, the more control you have over your tear. Okay. Now, I'm gonna dry fit this to see if I have enough space to stamp the word happy. And if I don't, I'll tear some more. I do think, let's just look. It looks like enough, but I do want a little bit more. So I'm gonna tear just a tiny bit more on each side. Oh, so very little. Okay, and let's, just to kind of make it even, you see how it's kind of a little off right there? I'm gonna tear this side a little bit more too. Hopefully you can see that I'm not holding it too much at too much at an angle towards me. Sometimes I talk a little quiet. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, let's take a look at this. That's great, I like that. I'm gonna be bold and I'm going to adhere this down first and then I'm gonna stamp. These stamps are super easy to stamp with, so I'm not concerned about it. And I'm probably gonna jinx myself by saying that, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. Nothing that probably a rhinestone can't cover up, right? Okay, let's put this is my top layer. See, need time to wiggle that. And my bottom. Of course, I hold the paper crooked, so it's probably why I put everything down so crooked. Now that is a bit of a larger fault line than I had in my other card. That's okay. Everyone is going to be different because you're tearing the paper here. Okay, I'm bringing in Blackberry Bliss. And we're gonna stamp the word happy. Oh, the stamp is coming off. It's so well loved right now. Now I'm kind of hoping I'm not gonna regret putting that down. Let's get, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, right? You know what, in case you're worried. Scrap paper, I know I've got some Post-it note right here. Let's just make sure. Oof. Yes, it's fine. Okay. Here we go again. Sometimes my ink pad is juicier on one side than the other. I think people tend to ink or stamp towards the edge, and so like along the edges you tend to lose ink more than the center. Okay, now we're gonna grab the word birthday and stamp that at the top of the inside. Close that before we, as usual, make a mess. Okay, let's glue this down to our card base. And again, super simple card. You can make a lot of these quickly. You know, if you're doing a craft fair, if you've got behind on your birthday cards, you just need to get a few made. I think this would actually make a really cute thank you card. Now that I say that, yeah, thanks. I could, oh, that's the happy stamp. But the thanks would fit in here nicely, and that could be a thanks card for, you know, my customers. Don't be surprised if you order and you see a thank you card eventually that looks like this. Actually, I should try not to because I just showed you how to make it. Okay, I'm going to crease that again. And of course, I'm going to bring back those rhinestones, and I'm just going to use 3 of the small ones. Of course, you can use any size you want. And there we go. Happy birthday card is done. So these are the 3 cards we made. I have this one, I have this one, and this one right here. All using the, and of course, where's the stamp set? It's right here under one of my cards. All using the Blooming Phrases stamp set. I hope you like those. And again, if you would love the cardstock to make these cards, again, everything is included with the exception of the stamped images. And of course, I also will not send the embellishments, so you would have to use any embellishments you have. It's kind of hard to cut some of these apart. But I would give you all the cardstock. So for a $35 order on the website, my website, until September 6th, and I will see those orders come through, so I'll know. I will send you all of these so you can make these cards. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to be a little more consistent with these, so hopefully you'll see me soon. Bye now.